Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and this is going to be a brief little review for Btooom, Episode 9. Talk about an exciting episode. We have the debut of Oda Nobutaka. This is the guy with the sunglasses and the tattoos on his arms. We're picking up right where we left off with this Dr. Date AVGN man, if you will, basically trying to win the confidence of Sakamoto, Himeko, and Taira because, he's patched up Taira's bleeding arm and pretend like he's this really passive guy, and you hear his thought processes, which I thought was genius this whole time, where he's just dismissing them and calling them idiots for believing him so readily. But of course we see this doesn't last, at least where Himeko is concerned through the episode. Now, the biggest thing for me was the awesome game of cat and mouse that was going on, and it was going on through multiple levels, because you have Date joining Sakamoto and Himeko to go get some of the food that's being dropped nearby. And again, this whole time you're hearing all of his thought processes. He's manipulating the situation, so he seems to be a good guy. He's trying to be a team player. But of course, you're seeing those inner workings, those inner thoughts, and he's just despicable. Why was he brought back to this island? I don't know. Even he wants to know. But again, it touches on that whole frightening prospect. Well, if somebody was promised to play this game, win this game, and be brought back to their home, what would lead them to be brought back to the island? That is really a freaky thing to contemplate. But of course, we see this brilliant chess game enacted out with Oda Nobutaka basically making his debut and trying to fight Sakamoto for this food. Now, in the interim, we also see that Kira is still around. He's partnered up with this gangly-looking guy, and he's trying to manipulate the guy. And he's really just tired of adults. I think at this point, he really wants to be able to control the situation himself, get the satisfaction of some kills under his own weight, and it's just really interesting that we're seeing all of these different facets in this one episode. Now, as Sakamoto is dealing with Oda, you have Himeko also dealing with this girl who basically, I guess, was partnered with Oda, and this girl is tough stuff. She's like, gotta be a wrestler or something with the grappling that's going on between her and Himeko. And of course, we have a little bit of that sort of one-upmanship between them as well, because Himeko has that stun gun and she tries to use it on the chick, and she ends up getting hurt, but there isn't enough power left in the thing to really knock somebody out. And this is something we saw a little while ago where somebody had used it and it didn't knock the person out. I can't remember who it was, but I just thought this was a brilliant episode because amongst all of this great action and tense just stuff unfolding on screen, you still also have the insight into Himeko's mind, where she's basically, in that moment where she's fighting for her life from this girl, she's trying to fend off this girl's attack, she begins questioning, why have I suddenly changed my mind? Why am I fighting to live when all of this time I wanted to give in? I wanted death to overtake me. And you see her flash to the face of Sakamoto, and she then just tries to deny it. Her rage, I think, is what empowers her to overpower this woman and get away from her. And of course, then you have the intervening explosion of one of Date's BIMs. And this is just amazing to me, though, that she has this sort of contradictory mindset, and that's what's going to propel her to stay alive in this game. Because, she is fighting that sense in herself. She knows Ryota is the only person she can trust. And at the same time, it still carries a lot of weight in her to not give her trust over to him fully, because I think it has a lot to do with she doesn't want to feel like she's helpless. She wants to be able to feel like she can conquer her own demons as well. And I really love that. But again, the whole game of cat and mouse in this episode, seeing Oda and Sakamoto basically go head-to-head, fighting for this food, and they both end up going over a cliff into the water. They're both on fire, and it looks like toward the end that once they're on the beach and they take out that guy that Kira was with, well, of course you have Oda setting his booby traps like he's been doing since the very first time we saw him, and Sakamoto is no pushover. He's been playing this game. He's the best player in Japan. He is not going to be fooled by any booby trap. He took the chance, and he didn't get wiped out. And that's where we end this episode, and so I'm guessing next episode we are just going to begin with one hell of a battle between these two guys. And yeah, so that's pretty much my thoughts on this episode. Just really exciting, lots of action, some more insights into Himeko's mind, and it was just a thoroughly enjoyable watch. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you've seen this episode, what you thought of it, and otherwise, that's going to be it for me on this one. So I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.